Welcome back to the deep dive. You know, if you're learning English, there's that moment, right? You feel like you're getting fluent, you understand the big words, and then bam, a tiny little two-word phrase, a phrasal verb, just pops up and throws you completely.
Oh, absolutely. They're notorious, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just this dizzying array of meanings packed into something so small.
Exactly. Linguistic monsters.
Yeah, they really are the ultimate context challenge, I think. It's less about memorizing lists and more about, soaking up the culture and the situation.
Right.
And today, we thought we'd tackle, well, maybe one of the biggest offenders in terms of just sheer flexibility and contradictory meanings sometimes. Take in.
Take in. Yeah, it sounds so simple, doesn't it?
Deceptively simple.
But that's our mission today, really, to show just how, well, astonishingly versatile this little phrase is, especially if you're aiming for that B2, C1 level fluency. You really have to get this one. We've dug up, at least 10 distinct uses. It's wild. Covers everything from, learning something new to, getting arrested.
It really does. It's quite remarkable. So maybe we should start with the most common ones.
Yeah.
The sort of fundamental uses dealing with, internalizing something, whether that's knowledge or even physical size.
Okay, yeah. Let's dive in. So core segment 1, the cognitive and the physical.
Right.
First up, to absorb or understand information. This feels like the most, intuitive one. The cognitive side. Grasping ideas. If you're a student, this is your daily bread.
Absolutely. This is baseline B2 usage, I'd say. But what's really key here for you listening isn't just the definition. It's seeing how subtle tense changes shift the meaning or the focus.
Okay.
So if I just say present simple, people often take in a lot of information during lectures. Well, that's just a general fact, isn't it?
Right. Just stating how things are.
Exactly.
But then if I'm talking about what I achieved, maybe, that's where the perfect tenses come in handy. By the end of the course, I had taken in all the essential information.
See, that really emphasizes the completion, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That you successfully absorbed it all before some point in the past.
Done and dusted.
And then there's the passive voice. This is where it gets interesting because we often talk about how information is received. If we flip it to passive, the focus moves away from the learner and onto the information itself, or maybe the difficulty. The information was taken in slowly due to the language barrier. Suddenly, the information is the tricky part.
Right. It wasn't necessarily the student's fault. The barrier was the issue.
Precisely.
Which actually leads nicely into some practical advice, doesn't it? For anyone listening, maybe even trying to absorb this deep dive. The action is active. You can take in the information better if you, literally take notes while you listen. It helps cement it.
It really does. It's that active engagement. And, that idea of internalizing, adjusting something, it brings us quite neatly to our second meaning.
How so?
Well, we've done mental processing, right? Understanding ideas. But interestingly, take in also covers physical adjustment. Not of ideas, but of, fabric.
Oh, right. Okay, that is a smooth link. So, meaning number 2, to make clothes tighter.
Exactly.
The classic tailoring meaning, reducing the size, usually by sewing, so something fits better, very practical, B2.
It's the physical version of adjusting, really. And you hear it all the time, usually in the past tense when the job's done. I finally took in my jeans after losing some weight.
Yep, been there. And because tailoring often follows rules, like predictable outcomes, this meaning pops up a lot in the zero conditional, doesn't it? Talking about a general truth, like, if a dress is too big, the tailor takes it in.
Yeah.
It's just what happens.
They're automatic. Cause and effect. Simple as that.
Okay, so we've got understanding information and altering clothes. Pretty straightforward so far.
Well, hold on. Because this is where take-in starts to play tricks on us. The meaning takes a really sharp, almost contradictory turn. We go from successful internalizing understanding, adjusting to, failure. Deception, even.
Whoa. Okay, failure in what sense?
Yeah.
Because meaning number 3 you flagged is to be deceived or to deceive someone else. How on earth did the same verb end up meaning both understand perfectly and be totally fooled?
Isn't that fascinating? That's the glorious messiness of English language evolution. But the root idea, I think, is still about internalizing something.
Okay.
You either take in the truth, you understand it correctly, or you are taken in, meaning you've internalized a lie, believing it was the truth.
Yeah.
It's like misabsorption.
Okay. Misabsorption. I like that. That makes the active versus passive voice absolutely crucial here then.
Critical. You have to know who's doing the tricking.
Right. So active voice, someone's doing the deceiving. He has taken in the whole neighborhood with his fake charity scam.
Classic example. Yeah. whereas the warning, the danger, is almost always passive. You can be taken in if you're not careful online. That vulnerability.
Yeah, that potential to be fooled is always there.
And grammatically, this meaning is great practice for those complex conditional structures, especially expressing regret.
Oh, like the third conditional, thinking about what might have happened.
Exactly. Think about it. If I had been taken in by that phishing email, I would have lost my life savings. It conveys that huge potential loss, that relief mixed with regret.
Wow. Okay, so that's a big jump from tailoring jeans.
It really is.
Yeah.
And now let's shift gears again completely from deception to, well, generosity, profound generosity, actually,
Yeah.
meaning number 4, to give shelter or accommodation.
Ah, okay. So this is about letting someone or maybe an animal stay in your home, usually when they're in need.
Precisely. It's about opening up your home, your space, often out of compassion. It's an act of kindness.
Yeah, you can almost feel the weight of that. It's often used in quite powerful stories, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
historical accounts or community actions.
Definitely. Think of those really evocative examples. My grandmother took in 2 evacuee children during the war. There's that sense of urgent need of providing safety.
Or maybe something more everyday, like community efforts. They regularly take in stray cats during the cold winter months.
Right. And that shows an ongoing commitment, doesn't it? Which, interestingly, is often captured really well using continuous tenses.
How so?
Well, you could use something like the future perfect continuous to emphasize that long-term dedication. By the end of this year, they will have been taking in-exchange students for over a decade. See how that highlights the duration of their generosity.
Yeah, that really paints a picture of sustained effort. Okay, so mental absorption, physical adjustment, deception, and now shelter. That's quite a range already.
And we're not done yet. Now we move into territory that's a bit more, let's say, formal, niche, or context-specific.
Okay, where are we heading now?
To the police station, actually, meaning number 5, to be taken in by police.
Right. This one feels quite specific.
It is. It's a pretty common B2 usage, but you hear it mostly in UK English, especially in news reports. It means being brought to the station for questioning. Importantly, it doesn't automatically mean you've been arrested or charged.
Okay, so it's specifically about being brought in for questions.
Yeah.
And the passive voice seems key here too, right? The police are doing the action.
Almost always passive, yes. 3 suspects were taken in by the police last night. You wouldn't usually say the police took in the suspects in this context, though grammatically possible, the passive is standard.
Got it.
And for the C1 learner, understanding that nuance is important. We often use the gerund form to talk about the situation itself. Being taken in by the police doesn't automatically mean you are guilty. It just means you're part of the investigation at that point.
Right. Important distinction. Okay, what's next on our list? Something completely different, I bet.
You bet correctly. Meaning number 6. To include or encompass. This one is much more abstract, more formal.
Include or encompass. Okay, how is that used?
We usually mark this as C1, mainly because of its formality. You'll find it more in writing reports, academic papers, maybe business plans. It's about defining the scope or boundary of some plan, a route, a project.
Ah, okay. So like defining what's part of a bigger thing.
Exactly. Think about planning a trip. This guided tour takes in several historical landmarks and finishes at the museum. The landmarks are included within the tour's itinerary.
Or maybe describing a policy document. The new environmental plan is going to take in considerations for both coastal erosion and inland flooding.
Perfect example. It's all about the breadth, the scope, what's covered.
Okay, makes sense. Formal, structural. What's number 7?
Number 7 is kind of related to the tour example, actually, but focused more on enjoyment and experience. To visit and enjoy, like scenery, events, cultural experiences.
Ah, like taking in the sights.
Precisely. Though we classify this as C1, mostly because it's becoming a bit less common in everyday chat, especially maybe in US English. It can sound a touch formal or perhaps slightly old-fashioned.
Really? I quite like it. It sounds more intentional than just seeing something.
I agree. It implies you're really savoring the experience, absorbing it. So you might still hear, "We took in a fantastic show while we were in London."
Or that classic travel advice. You absolutely must take in an opera if you go to Milan. It feels like you're actively participating, enjoying the spectacle.
Exactly. Actively enjoying and absorbing. It connects back in a way to that first meaning of mental absorption, but applied to experience.
Okay, we've covered quite a bit of ground. Are we into the really obscure ones now?
We are indeed. Now we're entering the truly niche zone. The C1 and C2 uses that pop up only in very specific, sometimes historical contexts. Ready for a rapid-fire round?
Let's do it. Lay them on me.
Okay, final 3, meaning number 8, quite rare now, often historical. To do paid work at home. Think piecework, like sewing or laundry. Taken into the home to be completed for money.
Like something out of Dickens. The classic example being, she takes in sewing to make ends meet. That immediately sets a very specific traditional scene.
Exactly. Number 9 is purely business or accounting. To receive money from sales. Just means the revenue collected. Simple as that. The shop takes in a surprising amount during the tourist season.
Right. Straightforward enough, just context specific. And the last one, number 10.
And finally, number 10. This one is highly specialized, definitely C2 territory. To furl, as in roll up or fold up sails on a ship or maybe a flag. Nautical, military term.
Furl. Okay, that is specific.
Very. It's usually a command you'd only hear in those environments. Take in the mainsail, there's a squall coming. Unless you're a sailor or perhaps a vexillologist dealing with flight protocols, you might never actually use it.
But knowing it exists is part of that mastery, right? Completes the picture.
It does. It shows the absolute limits of this verb's reach.
Wow. Okay, what a journey that was. 10 uses of taken. We went from absorb.
To tailor.
To deceive.
Arrest.
Include.
Work.
Money. It's actually staggering, isn't it? That one little phrasal verb can shift from understanding something deeply to adjusting clothes, to tricking someone completely.
It really highlights the challenge and the fascination of phrasal verbs. The huge takeaway for you listening has to be that context, and maybe cultural register, is absolutely everything. It's often less about the individual words take and in, and much more about the situation they appear in.
Yeah. And really understanding that range, knowing why some meanings are common B2 level, while others are formal C1 or super niche C2, that's a massive step towards sounding truly natural and achieving that higher fluency.
It absolutely is. And, it raises a kind of interesting final question for you to think about.
Oh.
If you reach the point where you can confidently use take in correctly across all these contexts, maybe even handle those tricky conditional forms like, if I had been taken in by the scam, I'd be broke now, versus the simple, if trousers are too loose, the tailor takes them in.
Yeah.
Have you actually mastered the language in some abstract sense? Or have you really just mastered context?
That's a great thought. Language versus context, or maybe they're inseparable at that level, something to definitely chew on.
Food for thought. Keep exploring those nuances. They really are the gateway to deeper understanding.
A perfect challenge to leave things on. Thanks so much for guiding us through that maze.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.